The following video will detail how I intend to progress my career over the next 5 years, looking at ways I can bring innovation and entrepreneurship to whatever I decide to do in the future. Work by Whiston and Keller looked to bring together a lot of the literature investigating a link between career choices and family influence. Lerner and Schulenberg conducted research into this area and discovered that the roles that children learn within the family setting can have a great impact on the choices they make. This would indicate that some basic career choices are made at an early age. When looking at my own family, I come from a line of self-employed workers. My father has always been a taxi driver and always worked for himself, and my mother a hairdresser. According to Bowen and Hisrich, this should lead to me being more predisposed to entering into self-employment. When looking at a more recent piece of work, Randerson et al. Found that this entrepreneurship within my parents should have inspired me to lead an entrepreneurial life. Science of People found that the parents' career choices and education choices can have a direct influence on the decisions that children make. Instead of inspiring me for an entrepreneurial future, this start to life has had the opposite effect. After seeing the hardship that can come with self-employment, such as lack of reliable income, difficulty gaining a mortgage, and moods that can be affected by good and bad weeks, means that instead I want the reliability and a steady income that an employed job can offer. This decision is in keeping with research by Wise and Frond, who discovered that the conflict that parents may struggle with throughout their working life can influence children's future decisions. Although my parents' careers didn't have an influence on my chosen path, some of their interests did. This links with the views of Workman, who believes that hobbies of parents can influence the future decisions that children make. From a young age, my father used to cook often with me. As a parent who worked long hours, this time spent together was precious, and led me to have nothing but fond memories of time spent cooking food. In my later years, I suffered with a long-term illness, and one of the methods of beating the boredom that I used was to cook meals for the entire family every day. Sometimes this was much to their disappointment. This struggle throughout my school years instilled a need for achievement within me. Pingert found that this is common with people who have been ill, and I am keen to show others that success after setback is possible. McClelland has also done a lot of research into the need for achievement within people. His findings correlate with that of other researchers who have found that people who suffered in childhood with some form of illness often look for ways to prove themselves in later life. There have, however, been some instances where my instilled desire for autonomy has appeared. When undertaking my current employment, the department was starting entirely from scratch. This means I had to employ a full team of staff and conduct training days and ensure everyone knew what they were doing. I also had to decide how the department would work as a whole, ensuring that everyone worked together, and this meant rearranging existing staff. This allowed me to create my own rotas and have an element of control over the hours I worked. Dex and McCulloch consider this to be one of the more appealing factors of self-employment, and the ability to bring this into an employed role was of great benefit to me. Within this employment, I also had the opportunity to run my own events, such as putting on fun days and wedding fairs. This allowed me to exercise my creativity and really put my own ideas into motion. In 2016, I took a big personal step and decided to start my own business. This involved conducting a lot of research and the extra scary element of putting my money where my mouth is and financing it myself. I took the risk, and my photo booth business, Picture This, was born. Within the first 9 months of operation, the business was in profit. This is something I am immensely proud of, as I know in the current climate it is hard to achieve. However, instead of this leap of faith spurring me on, it has taken me away from the entrepreneur life even more. The risk factor far outweighs the success, and if I had chosen to only concentrate on the business rather than remain employed at the same time, this would not have been sufficient. According to Jung's personality types, I am an ENTJ. This means I am an extrovert, intuitive, a thinker, and use judgment. Entrepreneurialism is considered to be one of the most suitable career paths for this personality type. Jankowski believes that the confidence and enthusiasm this personality type can have in their ideas is suitable for a life in charge. After completing CAIRD's General Measure of Enterprising test, I have discovered that I am considered to be highly enterprising. This is in part due to my high need for autonomy and achievement. My locus of control is considered to be high. This also correlates with Rotter's locus of control test results. This test shows that both my creative tendencies and risk-taking levels to be high. However, my risk-taking level is lower than that of the other areas within the test. Bohm et al. Finds that this is crucial to entrepreneurship and could explain my reluctance to start my own business. The result does come into question when considering the fact that a business is something I have already started. Perhaps my risk-taking has lessened. I have seen the stress and worry that can come from running a business. Although successful, the photo booth company could never fully support me without another wage alongside it. This could explain my reluctance to continue the self-employed life and why I crave the security of a wage. So what is it I want to do? To thoroughly utilise all my experience and have a job that I am 100% passionate about in the future, I would love to enter the world of education. Within my current employment, my main enjoyment comes from nurturing the team of waiting staff and watching their confidence grow. To see a waitress who wouldn't speak to anyone, then be chatting away to customers the next week fills me with great pride. Looking to create the next generation of hospitality leaders is something I often think about, and the ability to instill some key competencies and skills would bring me a high level of satisfaction. In order to assess the next steps that I must take in my chosen career choice, I have had to look at a job description and see how my skills match up to this. It requires an in-depth knowledge of the subject area, particularly if teaching a vocational course, which is my future aim. This is something I feel I do possess after working for over 10 years within industry. Written and communication skills is another thing that I feel I have developed in my time through university. Interpersonal skills and the ability to relate to students of all ages is something that I like to hope I will come to possess and something that I am very keen to work on. Organisation and planning skills is something that I've had to develop as my time within the events industry and have had to showcase whilst at university. Creativity is something that I pride myself on, and this is shown in work I have done at my current employment designing their posters and advertising material. A flexible approach to work is something that everyone needs when working within hospitality, as it is a constantly changing environment. Enthusiasm, motivation and commitment is something I possess abundance of, as I can't wait to teach the young minds of tomorrow. Patience is something I will have to develop, as it is not something that comes naturally to me. However, I hope a sense of humour is something that I do possess. Another thing that you are encouraged to possess on entering education is some form of qualification. This can either be a level 4, 5 or 6, or you can do a PGCE that encapsulates a level 6 with some level 7 skills. However, this is not a necessity, as some establishments will accept you without a qualification. It's just something that I would have to complete alongside employment. So what are my next steps? The information available on how to become a teacher of further education is confusing, and there is often differing advices given depending on where you look. I need to spend time deciding what is the most appropriate next step for me to take. There seems to be 3 ways of entering employment, either through a PGCE, through another form of teaching qualification, or enter it based on experience alone. Utilising the knowledge of my contacts working within industry, such as previous college and university lecturers, will be invaluable as to ascertaining my next steps. While this research is ongoing and my decisions are being made, I can gain more experience within the industry, which will help me to teach better. Considering my career choice, how can I be innovative and entrepreneurial within it? Well, during my studies, there has been one particular area of study that has sparked my interest: the ongoing levels of high staff turnover that the industry suffers from. This has been researched by many academics, and Bonham Fobringart found that it is something plaguing the industry. Finding ways to solve this problem will be my main area of concentration within education. From completing my research projects, I have discovered some common themes and practices within the industry, contributing to the levels of turnover. It would be my aim to educate future employers on methods to counteract the industry standards and work towards making hospitality known for its loyal staff. And what better way to start this knowledge than by instilling it on people whilst they are just beginning their careers within the industry.